So hello YouTube. Hi guys, how are you doing? We are streaming live on multiple platforms. So if you want to skip past this part, you most certainly can. And I just want to make sure that I'm getting everything set up on all the platforms. So I know sometimes people do not like this part, but it is important because I'm multi-streaming to different platforms. So I want to give everyone time to get on and all that kind of stuff. So let me go live here on Facebook, and then we're going to go live on Instagram. So just give me a little bit of time just to get things rolling, shall we? So hi guys, no makeup this morning. Just got done at 8 a.m. meeting. So with a client, wonderful client, working on her journal. So I wanted to take out the time to do this live for the morning. I'm trying to be consistent in these morning streams. So today we're talking about how to monetize your mind 101. These are the core basics to monetizing your mind. I wanted to you guys know my whole goal with you guys, for especially, coming from April and then going forward, is to really help you guys to continue to understand how to monetize and basically take your skills, your gifts, and your talents and make money from them. Hey, Kenya, how are you? I got your email about next Wednesday, so we're good to go. So today we're going to be talking about, I think I touched on this before, but we're going to be talking about the basics of monetizing your mind. What does that look like from a business perspective? You have years of experience maybe doing something. Hey girl, how are you doing? Hey Monique, I gotta actually text you today. So, but anyway, I'm done with Easter break, even though I have church every night this week, but I'm doing good. So today we're going to be talking about how to take your knowledge that you have and how to package it up to sell it. Because many of you have gifts, skills, abilities, talents, all that kind of stuff. And you can actually package this stuff up and sell it. And so today we touched on some courses and platforms you can do, but today we're going to just, kind of reestablish some basics. I'm going to check in with you guys. Hey, Trisha. Okay, awesome. Thank you. And we're just going to go over some basics, but I'm streaming on both YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram so that this content is there. Hey, Lock Pop, how are you? Yes, YouTube, classes in session. Okay. So get whatever you need to get, but let's get into it. So I touched on this before. Some of these notes will be, kind of the same, but if you're not working yet on packaging your mind into a business, well, guess what? You have popped up on the right live because I'm here to teach you. So of course, my Facebook platform and YouTube and Instagram, it's all about helping you guys to, again, monetize that mind and turn that thing into a money maker. Because here's the thing, God has given you, I think I just snorted. I don't know what I just did with my nose, but God has given you knowledge, okay? And so whether that is experience from corporate, whether that's experience in ministry building, whether that's experience in being a mom, whether that's experience in baking, cooking, whatever it is, do you know that besides just giving out it as a service, you can also monetize the knowledge aspect. And the knowledge aspect is so crucial. Right now, just to kind of give you some things to think about, right now, what we're seeing in customer behavior, because this is important. So in other words, what are we seeing from people right now in this day and age? What are they leaning more towards? What are they purchasing? So a couple years ago, we saw platforms like Udemy really take off, where people were buying online courses from, not your traditional, professors, or maybe they were professors, but in other words, these weren't like, you were enrolling in college courses, right? These were people who had knowledge. They were packaging it up in online courses, and Udemy was the platform that really took off, where we really saw people who want to obtain, whether it's everyday skills, corporate skills, networking skills, life skills, they were getting them from just people that you would meet in a coffee shop, but they had knowledge, and people were paying for it. So once Udemy blew up, then we saw a lot of other platforms come out. We saw the rise of ebooks and content. Now we're seeing a huge rise in online membership programs, and people becoming monthly members of obtaining knowledge. So now that we see where everything is going, and on top of that, we're studying the trends of, okay, what's next, right? So what is next. We know things like podcasting is increasing. People are literally betting their money. We see platforms like Anchor right now that are really taking off in the tech world, where people are really betting their money right now on podcasting. Spotify is reaching out to women of color to, launch, to help them expand podcasting. So we're seeing that there is right now a big trend in you taking whatever packaging it up and selling it to people. Now, the trouble comes into play, or the questions that most of you will have are things like, first of all, hey, Shane, I see you. How do I package it up? How do I, how are people going to buy this? How do I know people want this? How do I position myself so that people can want this? And so what I want to do is we're going to spend about 30 minutes talking about the basics, things that I want you to consider right now on packaging. Okay, that's what we're going to cover right now. And then, of course, this is all connected to right now, the pop-ups, business boot camps I'm doing. So Atlanta, you're first, and that's next Monday, honestly. I'll be in Atlanta next Monday, and that's what I'm hosting for a small group of people. We're going to be doing this dig deep into this Monetizing Your Mind boot camp. So again, the link is in the bio on Instagram. It is YouTube. It's in the description box. And then for Facebook, it's with this. So if you're in Atlanta, I need to see you, because we're going to be going even deeper into this. So again, this video is about how do you take whatever the knowledge is that you've acquired over the years, package it up into a product or some kind of platform that people will pay into. So the first thing is, and we talked about this before, but what is it that you know? Okay, and not just know, but what is it that you know well? We talked about this in another video before. So you got to first do a big brain dump. Whether you get one of those big boards back here, I know some of y'all can see that, or whether you get, a notebook, the first thing you need to figure out is what is it that you have years of experience in? What is it that like the back of your hand, that you can teach people in your sleep? It has to be something, too, that's scalable. What does that mean? It can't be something where you only know like 5 things about it. Okay, because you can't break that into multiple products, books. You can't break that into multiple courses. So that's the reason why you can't just pick up something and just say, oh, I can teach this. It has to be something that you really, 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 really know. It's better to have something where it's years of experience, because you have years of knowledge. That means years of books, years of courses you can teach, years of products you can launch, that equates to more content. So it's better to pick something. Honestly, the only thing you should be picking is something where you have a vast amount of knowledge of. And for many of you, it may be your corporate experience. So maybe, your years in corporate, maybe, you've learned how to really do something like really, 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 really well. And I can break this out into multiple things. So the first thing is, what are you going to teach people? Okay, what are you going to teach people? We call these kinds of entrepreneurs infopreneurs. That's like the new term for it, infopreneurs. Infopreneurs are entrepreneurs where your product, the basis of what your business is about information. And right now, we're in an information-driven entrepreneurship model that we're seeing a lot of times. And remember, with platforms like Udemy, Teachable, Thinkific, Teachery, all these platforms, we're seeing a rise where people are monetizing their mind, literally taking the knowledge that they've learned in corporate, ministry, whatever, and they're packaging up into products. So the very first thing you need to figure out is, okay, what is it that I can teach? What is it I can teach? You would be surprised on the things that people can teach. How many kids, this is hilarious, but when you think of kids who make the slime, they make those slime videos. How many children could have said, you know what, I'm going to come up with like a slime 101 class for other kids my age where I teach them how to make slime. Like, that's basically an infopreneur. You're teaching people how to do something, okay? The other thing, though, too, is it's more than just teaching them how to do something. You have to give people a goal, because what draws people in is a dream, okay? Everyone needs a dream, and it's not a false dream, but you have to give people a goal. Perfect example is for me. So I teach leaders, I teach thought leaders, I teach entrepreneurs, I teach ministry leaders how to monetize their mind, okay, to basically create the life of their dreams. Because what happens is when you learn how to monetize your mind and package things up, whether it's into different types of products or services, you really create scalable income that really has no limits. And it helps you to have the life of your dreams. You get to live where you want to live, drive what you want to drive, take your kids out. There's a lot of things that you can do when you really take the limits off of your income, and you can make the money through things that you already know. So that's the picture that I paint for my customers, for my students, for my coaching clients. So when they're saying, okay, Gigi, what do I come to Gigi for? Well, I'm coming to Gigi because she's going to teach me how to monetize my mind through the information in my head. So you already know what you're coming to me for. You already know what I do. And then from there, you know that by doing this, you're going to help create for yourself scalable income that just keeps on going and going based upon whatever knowledge that you have in that head. So I want you to think about whatever it is that you will teach people, what's the dream? So like by them learning blah, 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 what are they going to gain from it? What is it that they can do with this knowledge? Perfect example is when people do these online coding boot camps where people learn how to, do JavaScript and, Python and, and all these things, HTML, all these different coding things, coding platforms and coding knowledge. What it does is it helps them expand their income, because people who've taken coding classes, guess what it does? It helps them to be able to shoot for higher jobs. It helps them to be able to go into the marketplace with more stronger skill sets. So, so basically what I'm saying is, okay, by them doing this, what will they experience? Okay, because people want something. If I'm going to pay for these online courses, books, all that kind of stuff, you better give me something, and it better be good. So you really want to make sure that when you're looking at, okay, what am I teaching people, that you're giving them some kind of process. Hey, Candy Rain, yes, that you're giving them some kind of process for them. Okay, some kind of process. So by me teaching you this is what you'll experience. Now, of course, you'll need to be more in depth with that, okay? It's not like you can just tell people one sentence. If you guys go to my website, there's much more things that are more in depth. But what I am saying to you is packaging your knowledge is it. It's not for everybody, because not everybody's a teacher. And there is a difference between you being a teacher and you being a speaker. Not every speaker is a teacher. It's important to note. So when we're going over these different things, it's important to note that just because you know something does not mean you can teach it well. Because when you start selling things, you need to be able to break things down in a way that a child can understand it, or whoever's experiencing it can understand it. So a lot of times the problem is that we can speak, but can you teach? And when you're going through content and packaging up content into products and services, the number one question is this teachable? Is this something that can be taught to people and they can receive and understand it, and it's not all over the place? Or is it just mumbo jumbo and it's just like, oh, I was empowered, but I wasn't taught? So even when we're talking about laying out content, so let's go over this. So Gigi, where do I start? So I'm hearing you talk about, okay, I can monetize my mind, take my knowledge, put it into resources. I'm hearing you on that. Where do I start? So the first place that you start when it comes to monetizing your mind is you got to first build a map. Like when we talk about that brain dump, you should probably go to Staples and get a board just that. I'm trying to get my finger on it. Oh my gosh, cannot. Okay, there you go. You need to get a board probably that big. I'm being so serious, or a huge at a glance kind of thing, because the first thing you need to do, and this is what I did for myself, and this is what I do for all my clients, is we dump all the knowledge you've collected over the years, whether it's in ministry, whether it's in finance, whether it's in health, whether it's in, I have a client who's a nurse, and we're going to be working with, we've been working for months, but right now we're working towards getting her mind package, because all of this health experience that she's had, we're trying to package it now into health programs that she can sell. Right? And so what we did was we brain dumped everything that she's learned as a BSN, as a nurse with that degree. Okay, what is it that you can teach people how to do? Okay, and of course, you're not teaching them how to be nurses. They have to go to school for that. But when it comes to health, what is it that you can teach? So we just dumped, years, of experience. We just dumped it all out. Then what we do is we build it up from a 102 to a 1001 program. What that means is you have to start from what are the basics to what are like the top tier, like it's almost like what's elementary and then what's high school, okay, and what's middle school. You have to really so you have to really outline it, because otherwise, here's the problem with so many people: you come out with all this knowledge and then like in 1 year you taught everything. And that's like the worst thing to do. You don't do that. You don't. Sometimes we get so excited that we teach everything. And that's the reason why you have to map things out. Because if you don't map things out, you really will be out here teaching like everything at one time. And that's really not how you do it, because you got to have a plan for content release, getting people excited about what's next. So the first thing that you need to do, every person who wants to be an entrepreneur, guess what your very first product is? You need a 101. You need a 101. What is going to be your 101 product or course? Now, my personal opinion is that infopreneurs, it is best for you to start with an online course with an ebook or some kind of supplementary material, because books have a capped value. I've been teaching this for years. People still don't want to hear me, but books have a capped value because do I have a book near me? I think I do, but I don't know where. Let's see if I have a book. I think I have a book. But a book has a capped value, guys. And so what I mean by that is a book only has, like, okay, if I buy a book from Barnes and Nobles or from whatever, on like Amazon, whatever, most people only spend between, like we said, and you guys know this, I teach all the time. Most people may only spend between, let's say at max, maybe between $1 to maybe $30 max for a book, like max, okay? Now, depending upon how you brand yourself, you can go higher. But most people, when it comes to a book, and so many of us, I know everyone wants to be an author. I'm glad we all want to be authors. But this is not the time to really think about just becoming an author, because authors are now starting to get it too, that, books have a limit. And so if I really want to scale, of course, I want you guys to become New York Times bestsellers. That's awesome. But you need exposure for that. So if you're starting out and you're like just starting out and you don't have a huge tribe and you're building up your tribe and you don't have the exposure yet, it is best for me, instead of me trying to sell $10 books all the time, well, let me kind of scale that amount to where, okay, this will be an online course and content, okay? Now, I will be going into the specifics on, how to do ebooks, how to do that. That's all going to be through my platform. So, LaShonda, I got you. We'll be talking about that, on how to do it. Because I don't just want to teach you guys how to create ebooks. I want to teach you guys how to create ebooks that sell. Because I know a lot of you guys are taking courses on how to create, but the creation part is not everyone's problem. It's the selling, and it's the fact that how is it fitting into the map of the plan? Because when you're launching content like ebooks, courses, you don't just launch what you think you want to launch. It's based upon a plan. And that's the thing about monetizing 101. That's why I told you, you got to brain dump all your knowledge. You got to figure out, okay, what is my full scope? Then what you do is you begin to drag in products and services that match the plan for your info-based business, okay? So let's say your whole business is you teach mothers, I'm just gonna come up with something, you teach mothers how to maneuver in their first year. So maybe you have a platform called First Year Moms. I'm making something up, but let's just go with it. It's called First Year Moms. Matter of fact, Tammy, I just saw your name pop up. I pray someday you're going to launch some kind of STEM program or something in the box so we can use it at our school. But anyway, you need to do something, Tammy. Tammy, I see you. I think I saw you tune in. You do something, Tammy. Okay, I see you, Tammy, in these pictures with all these children. I'm waiting for you to do something for these kids, okay? Something from you, okay? So we can put these things into schools and stuff. But anyway, I saw Tammy pop up. So when I see Tammy, I always think about tech. So like I said before, it's not just about creating the product. Remember, it has to fit into the mold of your business. So like I said before, let's say I make up a platform. Let's say I don't have any kids yet. I'm married yet. But let's say, for instance, after years of being a mother, I've decided that I want to launch a business that's focused on teaching moms how to make it through their first year. So, it's on, because that first year when you have your child, let's say it's like really crazy. I don't have any kids yet, so I don't know. But I've seen things. So let's say you want to monetize. Let's say the platform that you wanted to create. Maybe let's say you're a guy and you want to teach dads how to maneuver, the first couple of years as a dad, because there are a lot of fathers a lot of men who don't know how to be fathers. And when the child comes in the world, they don't know how, they're like, man, I don't even know how to support my wife or whatever. So let's say you want to create a platform where you help people, whether it's women or men, maneuver their first year of having a child. Right? Okay. So the information, that would be an infopreneur-based business. And so what you would do then is you would need to map out. this is the brain dump. What are all the things, before you even do products or services, what are all the things that I believe a man or a woman should know when having, that first year of having your child? So what you would do is you would write down, and don't try to organize it. You can try if you want to, but the best thing is just to write down everything. Just whatever comes to your mind that you think you should cover, just write it all out. Then what you'll do is you need to put it in organization of, like I said before, that whole elementary to high school model where, okay, these are the first things that you should know, okay? Then here are the second things that you should know. Then here are the third thing that you should know. And you can divide it out. So like depending upon who you're trying to teach, you can break it out based upon, maybe what their schedule is. So for instance, a parent, maybe they're going by like here's what you should do for their first, 0 to 3 months. Then from 3 to 6 months, then from 6 to 12 months, then from 12 to 18 months, right? Because technically when you think about it, that's how most parents are thinking about their children. It's usually, like the size of their clothing or their Pampers. So maybe that's how you're going to organize it. Or maybe, let's say you're working with high school students and, you're teaching them on how to, prep for, testing or whatever. So maybe you divide upon their school season. So like, this is your first semester and this is we're divided upon your second semester. This is your third semester. This is your fourth semester. You can do it like that if you want to. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? So you can divide it upon maybe how they move, or you can do it upon whatever way you want to craft it. The whole point is that after I do my brain dump, I then organize my brain dump. After I organize my brain dump, I do the whole elementary to high school breakdown. Once I do that, then I have to figure out, then from these topics, which ones become courses, ebooks, blog posts. A lot of the content, you really actually want to break it down. Remember, you don't want to run out of content. And really, a lot of people have a fear of running out of content. But you don't actually have to run out of content. So what I suggest for people to do is, and this is very important, is that you need to map out in your head. Okay, so, and I talk about this with the content calendar. I've talked about this several times, but let's say, for instance, and we're just going to go through just some of the things. But let's say, for instance, let's go back with the whole content. I see Sierra just signed her contract. Sierra just became a product development client. I just saw the notification come. That's what I was checking in a second. So excited about that. Just coming to the next client. But anyway, let's say we are going back to this whole first mamas, right? First, mom, year trying to figure out your first year being a mom. So let's say one of the topics is handling the emotional, I'm not a mother, so I can't, but let's say it's like, handling the emotional attachment or, how to have healthy, after having your child, maybe you have postpartum depression. So maybe one of the topics is like how to handle postpartum depression. If you're a guy, you don't have, well, maybe you do. But if you're a guy and you're trying to teach men on how to do it, maybe your topic is, how to help your wife in her first year of having the child. So what you would do is, let's take that one. This is the biggest thing that I have to teach you guys is how do I stretch content? Because a lot of times what I'm seeing people do is they're like bum rushing out and like maybe in 3 months you taught all your content. And that's not how you do it. So you're going to take one piece. Let's say that one piece is on how to handle postpartum depression if you're a woman, and maybe for the men is how to help your wife in her first year. So let's break this out, because this is what needs to be taught, because I'm glad you guys are creating things, but if they're not within the strategy, it doesn't work. So let's take a pen. Let's write this out. So we're doing postpartum for the women, and then for the men, it's how to, help your wife. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to theme it. Themes are very important. You want to make it sound fun. So it's almost the branding portion. So let's say we call the men's, it's called Mr. Superman, right? And the subtitle is How to Come to the Rescue maybe like how to come to your wife's rescue in your first year, right? So it's all. Then we're going to start with the men. So if you have that topic, right, then we break that out into different pieces of content. So the first thing is you're going to need blog posts. Now here's the cool thing. When you're planning out, you guys know I have I talk about the content calendar. It's also in my Boss Builder workbook that I sell. We lay it out according to that time. So this may be like 1 month. So it's not going to be like in 1 day or in 1 week. This would actually be a theme for the whole month. So I would do now. My whole thing is let's do at least 1 blog post, either 1 blog post a week or 2 blog posts a month minimum. So I need to come up with 2 blog posts minimum for that month, circling around how to come to the rescue as a man. Let's say you're a man, let's say your whole platform is, helping men in their first couple of years of dating their wife, basically how to support, how to be a husband, how to help raise these kids. So let's say you did something where, okay, this first month, I'm focusing on how to, basically be that Superman. So these 2 blog posts, here's what you're going to break it down. So when it comes to how to become to the rescue for your wife, let's break that down into 4 points. This is the 4-point system that I teach you guys over and over again. This is how you easily crank out content and create easy products. So I'm going to take how to come to the rescue. Let's break that into 4 different subtopics. Okay. So what's the first thing and so this is very important. See, this is how you build a whole system of content, blog posts, online courses, and more in a business. So if you're trying to teach people how to become, again, Superman, okay, as a man, then let's break it down into 4 subtopics. Then what she'll do is that goes to each week. It's really simple. It's really, I'm telling you, once you get this, it'll be so easy to crank out products and courses and content. But here's the reason why I want to talk about this, because there's an epidemic that I'm seeing happen in the whole content and infopreneur world that really kind of not stressing me, but it concerns me. And that is like a lot of infopreneurs work way too hard, and they feel like and this is true, a lot of them are like cranking out new content like every other day. And as great as impressive as it is, it's also, I'm seeing it to where if they didn't produce any more content, it would be as if they would not know how to function. And it's an issue I'm seeing. It's a really big issue because I'm seeing people hit like not like huge numbers. And that's awesome. I'm glad that people are hitting, huge numbers and things like that. But it's like their workload is way too much. And the workload is like it's almost just, it's insane. And people will say, oh, well, that's because that's my grind ethic. But I also think it's because some people are really running out of content. And so they're kind of like taking little mini pieces and making them into new products. And while that's great and dandy and all that, it's just too much work. And so my other goal in this is to teach you guys how to create products that you can focus on over and over again and not have to be so focused on creating new ebooks every other week and new online courses every other week. Because that's what I'm seeing with people. And it's just too much. It's just way too much. It's just not right. That's how I personally feel. It's too time consuming. So when you're doing this model of the 1, 2, 3, 4, what we're saying is that you only need 12 topics to teach in 1 month. In 1 year. That's all you need. You need 12 topics. And remember, when you're stretching out content, you don't have to cover this. I've learned this when my father was teaching me about preaching and teaching. He always taught me, you don't have to fit everything into one sermon. You can break things apart. You can say this is a part 1, this is a part 2, this is a part 2, 3, and a part 4. As long as people are getting what they need, don't feel pressure to try to shove everything into one thing. That's the problem with some people when it comes to monetizing their mind into content and then selling that content. Because a lot of people I know, they have so much knowledge, but they're like so focused on like selling everything at one time, and they run out of content and they're like, oh, I ran out of content. No, you need to slow yourself down. So what I tell people is, okay, you only need 12 topics in a whole year. That's all you need. You just need 12 topics. And you can literally take just one section of your knowledge and just pull out 12 topics. So like, let's say you wanted to monetize, like I said before, let's say I want to monetize I don't know, like I said before, the year of, maybe teaching mothers how to maneuver their first year. I don't have to teach everything in that 1 year. I can pull out one principle, maybe 2 or 3 principles, and that be my focus for the whole year. And I just break it down into 12 topics. That's it. Then I move to the second year and I do even more content. But after a while, you don't need to be producing like 1,600 courses and books, because half of the people are doing that. You haven't even sold the first 3 that you came out with well. So let's just go back and let's just first say here, if you haven't been selling what you currently have, there's no need for you to come out here every 2 weeks with an ebook. No one wants that. Let's have a comprehensive platform where you have an overall goal that you're focused on teaching people how to do, okay? And every month there's a different topic. And by the end of 1 year, there are 12 complete topics that they can go through blog posts and through content. There may be, let's say you do an online course for each one. That means that there are 12 online courses now that you have to sell. That is awesome. That is awesome. What it also does is when people come to you who are new to your platform and ask things like, how do you do this or how do you do that? You no longer have to repeat content. You can just simply say, oh, well, I have an online course that teaches you how to do that, or I have an online workbook or downloadable that will teach you how to do that. So a lot of times what I'm seeing is that, and this is what I'm seeing online. I'm telling you, you cannot get caught up in people who have large followings, stuff like that, because I'm telling you, the way they work is just unhealthy. It's very unhealthy, because again, a lot of times what I'm seeing is people ask them questions and they're like, "Oh, you guys want to learn this?" And it's like, "Well, you taught that like 5 months ago, though. You should just put that platform back on your website, that online course you taught 4 weeks ago or 5 months ago, and put that up on the platform and sell it." But see, they don't want to do that. They want to keep on, grinding. Like, it's this addiction, I guess, to wanting to be exhausted, I guess. Or maybe it's this addiction just to wanting to feel like you're working overly hard. But what I'm saying is you can monetize your platforms. You're not, oh, sorry, guys. I'm just turning the camera the complete opposite way. But you can monetize your knowledge, okay? You can monetize your knowledge, but don't overstress yourself. Let's break it down. I'm into living a life of freedom and liberty, okay? And I'm not here to be stressed out. I'm not creating another 9 to 5 for me. That's not why I got into business. I did not come into business to create another 9 to 5. I got into business because I wanted to live a life of freedom, and I wanted to create my dream life. So like, for instance, this morning I woke up, had an early 8 a.m. meeting with a dream client, awesome client. And I have another meeting, and then I have a couple more meetings. But guess what? I'm living my dream life, and I'm getting paid my dream income. And the thing about it is that it's because I wasn't out here trying to fit everybody's mold of, well, you got to put out this much content, you got to do this much, and if you don't do this much, then you're not hitting your heart. No. What I've learned is that you have to feed your tribe, your community, what they want. You just got to be consistent. But that consistency piece is not being overly. This is why you can't get caught up in social media, because social media will be having you think that if you don't post 15 times a day, then your business will not be successful. That's a bunch of foolishness. Now, you do need to be consistent on social media, because you can get leads from social media. But what I'm saying is, you have to be true to yourself. The woman at the well, and I don't mean to get spiritual, but Jesus told the woman at the well, listen, those that worship me will worship me in spirit and in truth. Okay? God, he desires for us to be true. Okay? To be true. And the thing about it is that you have to be true to you and God. And you have to think about it like, so if you're someone who says, listen, I'm not trying to be out here, doing online courses every other day, then you don't do that model. That's why I don't believe in that model. What do I suggest? At least 1 online course a month. That gives you 12 online courses based on whatever information that you have, right? And that gives you 12 different products to have sold in the whole year. Now, that does not include any events you do for the year. This does not include any content you push out, any online books or ebooks. What I am saying is that in order for you to create a scalable life, you got to create scalable products. And ebooks have a cap. Books have a cap. Online courses, online programs, they don't have caps. So that's the reason why when people turn to me, they're like, Genesis, like, wait, like you get paid $1,000 per month for a 3-month program? Yeah. So there's a minimum. If you want to work with me and you want to go through one of my programs, you're going to pay $9.97 per month for 3 months to work with me. Now, an ebook, I would only get paid between $1, depending on how I price it, to maybe $30. Like, so my Boss Builder workbook is $27 or $29, right? But to work with me, you're talking about a minimum of $1,000 a month. So there's scalability. There's scalability and definitely in teaching people on how to do what you do. So what I'm saying is, in your mind right now, there's money. There's so much money in your mind. I wish people really knew on how, like, some of us say, oh, I hate my job. I hate my 9 to 5. Let me tell you something. Learn as much as you can on your 9 to 5, because that's information that you can learn how to teach other people how to do. That's why never complain, always obtain. Listen to me. Never complain, always obtain. People who are complainers are always blocking their minds out to possibilities. But I remember when I was working at the school, I was obtaining information on how to run my business when I started my business. I was obtaining information on how I should operate my systems when I launched my business. So whenever if you're in a place right now that you don't want to be in and you cannot wait to leave or whatever, listen, okay? You need to be using that experience that you're gaining and then figuring out how to monetize that. So if you've been in customer service for like 30 years and you have not monetized the fact that you are an expert at customer service, you are missing out on money. Well, Genesis, who's going to want it? That's where time, patience, stacking your money, building your platform comes into play. Okay? So don't give me excuses about, well, how do I do? Listen, learn. Stick with me, okay? You watch the videos, stay connected, but you can, whatever knowledge you've obtained over the years, you can monetize. But you got to be an expert at it, though. Can't just be picking up random things. You got to be an expert at it. But I'm telling you, map it out. Okay, map it out. Get yourself a 12-month plan on the different topics you're going to do per month, right? You guys know my content calendar is famous for this, where we talk about the breaking down and, breaking things out into subtopics. But then you crank out, okay, then from each month, what kind of content am I doing? Am I doing blog posts? Am I doing an online course with this? Is this going to become an ebook? Will there be any downloadables? And that way, when you look at from January to December of 2018, you have a whole mapped out plan. This is what's happening in April. This is what's happening in May. This is what's happening in June. These are the products that we're going to be working on. That's why, when people say, oh, I'm bored, I'm not having time, or, I have some free time. You don't have it. I mean, you should have free time to take care of yourself and relax. But when I look at my schedule, right, from now to December of 2018, I have it all mapped out already. So if you ask me what I'm going to make money on, I can tell you, I'm not going to tell you because it's none of your business, and you got to follow my tribe to be a part of what I'm doing, and you'll see it come out. But the point is that I already know my whole year. I know what I'm doing in my business. And if you don't know what you're doing in your business right now and you're trying to become an infopreneur, then, you need to get working on that. So here's homework, because I like homework. Here's your homework, guys. Your first thing on the list is you need to do your brain dump if you haven't. Okay? Brain dump. The second thing you need to do is you need to organize. Let's do the whole elementary to high school, and you can even do the college layout. Now, what does that mean? That means that you need to kind of lay out your content into like, what are the basics? What are like the intermediate stuff? What is like the expert stuff? Because you don't want to teach expert stuff in the, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to get in order. So there's like a 101, a 102, a 103, that kind of thing, right? And then your knowledge progresses up, because let's say, for instance, like a perfect example, before I ever teach you on how to build out online courses, you would first need to take a Monetize Your Mind 101 course, right? Because you first need to figure out, well, how do I take the knowledge? Before you even create an ebook or any type of online course, I would first have to teach you on your why, on your, how to put it on, how to even think about what you will teach. So like that would be a 101. Then I would go into the 102s and 103s, like creating ebooks and things like that. Then maybe a 501 would be like, okay, how do you build a coaching business from your info? Right? Like, so these are like different tiers of knowledge. So like, that's the reason why you don't push everything into 1 month. You break things out so that you can sell that content. So that's the organize. The third thing is you need to do your content plan. If you do not have the Boss Builder workbook, I don't know what you're doing, because you need to have the Boss Builder workbook. You can buy it today, okay? So anyway, the Boss Builder workbook is on my website, genesisdorsey.com. It's also on Amazon. Just look up Boss Builder. And it includes over 150 pages on how to monetize, basically from online courses to services and products. It's all in there. But one of the things we talk about is the content plan. And that content plan is treasure. trying to thank you. That content plan is treasure. And I try to teach it over and over again. I think I will probably be teaching it until I leave this earth because it's so easy. It makes what you do so easy. So the content plan is where, remember, every month has one topic. And remember, I don't teach everything I know in 1 year. From that brain dump, from that organizing of my knowledge, I pick out what topics I want to hit in the first year. Okay. Then from there, what I do is I assign each month a particular topic. Then each month has subtopics. So for instance, like I said before, if I want to teach you how to, do your, let's say I teach you on how to build windows. Now that actually probably be a whole platform. What I'm saying is that maybe in 1 month, I teach you on how to choose different types of textures or woods or whatever it could be, right? So the whole thing is that whole month has subtopics, right? So like, let's say I was teaching you on how to write an ebook. Maybe the first week is how to actually outline your ebook. And the second week will be on how to, design your ebook. And the third one will be how to sell your ebook. Maybe the fourth one is how to package your ebook with other products, right? So you see how I took one main topic and divided it into subtopics. That's how you monetize. And you see, it's a scaling factor because I can take one piece of knowledge, right? Then I can expand it into subtopics that I can create other products and services with. That's how you create. That's why information-based businesses are on the rise because they make so much money. Because you're taking knowledge that people want and you're monetizing it. Okay, let's keep on going, shall we? Okay, what's the fourth thing? So the first thing, guys, remember is brain dump. Second thing is organize the brain dump. The third thing is you want to build your content plan. The fourth thing is you want to assign the monetization. What does that mean? Which things will become the product that you'll actually monetize? So, okay, this topic, now remember what we said, there has to be at least one product a month. At least one. Why? Because content has to be worth something. Do not waste your time coming on here doing lives, telling us how much of an expert you are, and you aren't monetizing it because it's a waste of your time. So for me, you will never see me out here not monetizing my knowledge. Heck no, you won't catch me doing that. Not today. Oh no. So what you're going to do is you're going to monetize that knowledge. So you want to assign monetization for every month. So this is going to become an online course. This is an ebook. This is this is that. Now you don't overwhelm yourself. This is where you have to be true to yourself. Because if you know that you can't create that online course in those 4 weeks, then you sit your behind down. This is also where you maybe need to pre-plan. So maybe for an online course that you're going to do maybe in July, you start recording it now. You start organizing it now, so you can work yourself out. But if you know that you can't do something, then don't assign it. Hi, Mom, you're on a live. Hi. Oh my God. You're on a live on here, and oh my God. So Mom, say hi to the people. Guys, this is my mom. Mom, you're also on here. Oh my God. What's that? This is Instagram. Oh. And then this is YouTube and stuff. Are you leaving? Yes. Okay, I'll see you. Okay, I'll see you later. Love you too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's so cute. Bye, Mommy. Okay, so she's so sweet, isn't she? She's so beautiful. Okay, so like I was saying though, is that you have to monetize each piece. Okay, so you have to assign the monetization to each thing that you're doing. So the fifth thing, here's the last thing you got to do. Here's the last thing you got to do. You got to subscribe to my email list. Okay, that's the last thing you need to do. Because guess what we're working on this month? Monetize. This is my whole goal this whole year is to teach you how to monetize your mind. So if you're not on my email list, you need to. My YouTube handle is Genesis Dorsey. So just literally, if you go to YouTube and you type in Genesis Dorsey, all my stuff comes up because I have all the stuff tagged with my name. So you need to go to genesisdorsey.com and you need to join my email list. There is a box right there on the homepage. There's also a box at the very bottom of that homepage. So there's 2 places for you to sign up. You want to become an official boss builder because what I'm going to be sending out, I already sent out a few emails. I sent out an email last week. I'm going to be sending out one this week. I'm going to be teaching you guys on how to monetize this mind, y'all. And I'm telling you, if you've had years of experience teaching other people things or on your job or whether even maybe your business, maybe you're someone who is a creative and you want to teach creatives how to be creative. Maybe you want to teach other creatives how to do what you do. Then you need to understand, there's 2 things you really got to understand how to do in this season. In this summer, I'm really trying to stress you y'all. You got to, if you learn anything from me, I'm going to teach you guys how to price yourselves right. I'm also going to teach you on how to build a platform using the knowledge. Because I've seen some of you guys are already teaching people, doing online courses. That's great. Make sure though there's a plan in all of it. Because what I've also seen from my clients is, especially when they come to me, like, oh, I've already done some online course, I've already done some this and that. I'm like, okay, well, where's the strategy? Where's the whole entire plan with this? They're like, I'm like, okay, so don't just go out here just doing courses and stuff. There needs to be a plan. What's the buildup? What are we doing the next quarter? Because you got to keep people excited, but you shouldn't stress yourself out keeping people excited. That's why I have a problem with people who are trying to launch online courses and ebooks every other week. That stuff is stressful. I mean, my goodness, if you took a whole month off of your business, the people would not feel the hype anymore. So that's why I don't build my hype off of new products every week. You're not a retail store. You're not you don't have to do that. The greatest thing for you to do is maybe focus on building more higher priced items, bigger programs and boot camps that get people prepped, every quarter, maybe every 3 months, that really have a higher tier point. I'm not going to work my butt off, sweat for like a $12 product. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. No, that's not worth my time. Especially if you have a smaller platform, it actually is stressful, because when you are someone, this is very important, if you're someone who has a smaller platform, you selling $12, $20 stuff is not going to work. You can do that when you have like 500,000 people. Because then 500,000 people, 100,000 people, 50,000 people, 30,000 people buying a $20 product. Okay, that's cool. But when you only have like 100 people or 200 people, maybe 50 people, you can't do that, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh. So what's better? What's better is to create things that are more in the hundreds or thousands. And, of course you got to build yourself up. But what I'm saying is, like, for instance, for me personally, right? People ask me, oh, Genesis, like, I see you have these programs that cost this and cost that. I'm like, yeah, that's what they cost, because I'm not here to create another 9 to 5. I'm here to create my dream life. So if I want to live my dream life, I'm not charging bottom low prices. Okay. Renee says, I'm just getting started in my business. Can I still charge a higher price? Oh, this is a great question. This is a great question, Renee. I'm so excited. Let me answer this question for you. And I'm going to answer it from the effect of an African-American woman, because this is and of course I have people watch this, all races, but of all races, but I want to answer this from a viewpoint that is extremely true. Actually, I'm not going to answer from African-American woman. I'm going to answer just from a person in general, from most people. From a small business perspective, that's better, because I have people of all races and stuff like that who are all on my platform. So I don't want to sound like I'm biased or anything like that. Why do you feel like you cannot charge a higher price? I'm going to answer your question with a question. So your question is, I'm just getting started in my business. Can I still charge a higher price? Why is it that we feel as if we cannot charge our worth when we get started? But I want you to seriously think about this. A lot of times we are so used to struggle and to feel like we have to work ourselves up to something. And that mindset comes because a lot of times that's how our lives have been, where, you have to work yourself up there. You won't be there now, but you'll get there one day. You don't have to do that. Do you know that when most people who are very successful in their business, when they launch their business, especially from consulting and online courses, things like that, they're not launching from, oh, let me just charge this. We know what they do. They assess. Let me just tell the straight truth. They assess what they want their business to make in that year, what their expenses are, assets, all that kind of stuff. And their price point is not based upon what they feel. Not based upon, oh, well, let me just charge this. It is based at a certain price point. There are people, especially, you got degrees, you got all these things, you're coming out here, and this is the truth. There's so many women and men, you got degrees out the wazoo, you have experience out the wazoo, and you're like, oh, let me just charge this. I'm sorry. Okay, so the debt you got from your degree, for getting that, what was that? How much was your degree worth? Maybe let's say your degree was worth $100,000, $120,000, right? Thank you. Thank you. You Dior, hair by Dior. But I know you're the hair expert. I can tell by your title. So, but you come out your degree's worth 120,000. Okay, and you out here trying to charge, $500, $200. No, no. I have a client, and I told her that her first charge that she needed to do for her first client. I think she came in at a 3,500 price point. First client gave her $3,500. And that was the minimum. I told her she couldn't go lower than. See, the problem is that social media has a lot of y'all messed up. And this is the truth. I told my clients, I cannot wait. Secure Bootcamp, oh, it was so good. I cannot wait for Secure Bootcamp to open up for April, for mid-April. Oh, so good. Can we apply the same thought process by operating an online business instead of creating? Online, if you're talking about like a retail e-commerce store, it's a little bit different. Because info-based is all based on perception. So is actually e-commerce as well. The only thing about if you're doing e-commerce and you're trying to do the same thing, you just have to find clientele that will pay you that price point. So in other words, your branding would be a huge factor in that. When it comes to online content, but online retail, if you want to evolve or operate at a higher price point, you would have to elevate who you're paying. So not who you're paying, but who you're providing your service to. So yes, it can be done, but you would have to elevate the branding and all that. In other words, so like let's say for instance, you're Walmart, but you're trying to become Neiman Marcus or Bergdorf Goodman or Bloomingdale's or Saks Fifth, then you would have to elevate the whole look, right? So that's my thing. You can always make more money, but you got to find the clientele. You got to make sure that that's the clientele that you want to serve. Because when you go up to that level, then even your expenses go up, everything goes up because you got to provide a certain experience. So yeah, you can, but you got to bring that up. So it's a little bit different. So like I said before, the problem is this. Let's go back to what Renice was asking. So the answer is no. The answer is yes. You can charge a higher price, but it's not higher. It's what you're worth. You're not charging a higher price point. You're charging your worth. It's crazy on how social media has everyone messed up. Because the problem is that you're basing your prices off of people who don't have high esteem about themselves. Right? That's why I don't pay attention to a lot of people on social media. I don't. I post. I enjoy myself. I look at a few of my friends' accounts, and then I log right back out. I mean, I do browse a little bit, enjoy myself. But most people on social media, they don't even know their worth. They don't know their worth. They do not know. And that's why I pray for them. But most of them don't know their worth. Physically, emotionally, financially, they don't know their worth. So a lot of you come on to social media, you launch your business. Instead of you actually operating it like a business, like a real business, you go on social media and you look at what these people charge, and then you say stuff like, oh, that's what I need to charge. You don't know their business model. Some of these people don't even know what their margins are. They don't even know what their expenses are. They don't even know how. And so when they base their prices, they're jacked up. They're stressed out. These people are losing their minds. They got to have 100 clients a month just to keep themselves in business. And here you are saying, oh, I see all these people crowding their space, following them. Let me do what they do. I'm good. I'm real good. I'm good. I make more money than most people. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I don't do half the stuff these people do. I'm like, you got to do all that? Oh, that's stressful. You might as well get another 9 to 5. At least you'll have benefits. If you don't work that hard, you might as well get another 9 to 5. At least you have some health care. At least you get some dental. At least you got a little bit of insurance. At least you have a 401k. If you're going to do all that and be that stressed out, just go get another 9 to 5 with benefits. Okay. But for you to actually physically launch your business, you gotta work like a business. Okay. You're a business. You are a business. So the funny thing is that when a lot of people leave their 9 to 5s and they launch real businesses at real price points, they're not launching businesses based upon social media. Heck no. They did a real business plan. And they said, we have to make a minimum of, 150 grand for this even to be worth something. We got to make a minimum of like 300, 400, 500 grand this year for it to be even worth something. So what they do is that means that for our clients each, we got to charge a minimum of this to be in business. And thing is, remember last night I was talking to women last night about having standards. The problem is when you get so hungry for money that you lower your worth and you take on clients that are lower than your goal. Because some of y'all don't have faith to believe. But that's why I'm here, to make sure you got faith. Your dream clients are on their way. But they're not going to come if you're busy marketing Walmart, but you're talking about your Neiman Marcus. Or, now let me tell you something, Walmart makes money just like Neiman Marcus. So it's the same way. You're out here marketing, saying that you're Walmart, but then you're marketing Neiman Marcus. So whatever price tier you're at, because you can make money charging, whatever price you want, but I'm saying that you have to be truthful and you have to be someone that says, this is the standard and I'm not going lower than that. So a lot of times what drowns creatives, entrepreneurs, experts out is that you become so desperate for money that you take on cheap clients. Then you complain about the experience, but you're the one who took them on. So that's why there's a grace period, and especially if you currently have a 9-to-5 and you're also building your business, that is honestly one of the most beautiful places to be, because you can continuously save your money from your 9-to-5, invest in your business, and at the same time you don't have to worry about, oh my God, I need to take on more clients. You don't have that stress. So that means that you have the time right now to obtain your dream clients and really establish a dream business. Okay, you can establish a dream business right now with that 9-to-5, and then when you're ready to transition, you are already making enough money to leave. That's why I try to tell you guys to price yourselves right, because if you price yourselves wrong, you will never leave your 9-to-5. Never. Because you know why? Because you're never charging your worth. So when you don't charge your worth, you're not making enough money. And because you're not making enough money, you can never leave your 9-to-5. This also goes for people who are currently full-time entrepreneurs and you're struggling. Why are you struggling? Because you're not charging your worth. Why? Because you're so busy trying to just grab every single dollar you can get and you're messed up. So what I'm telling you here's what I'm telling you how to do. What I'm telling you to do today is that you need to go through my steps. You need to brain dump. You need to organize. You need to create a content plan. You need to assign monetization, and you subscribe to my email list. Those are the 5 things you need to do today. Okay? And you go to my name, genesisdorsey.com. It's myname.com. It's not complicated. Just go to myname.com, and you need to do those 5 things, and you will be just fine. I promise you, you're going to make it. I promise you, you're going to make it. You're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. But I'm not here to sugarcoat you, because when you go out here and you got these bills stacked up and you have debt on all this kind of stuff, it's not cute. It's not cute for me to sugarcoat anything. I want you to make real money. I don't want you to make monopoly money. I want you to make real money that you can pay your debt off, that you can go travel, that you can take a break for a whole week and you're not stressed out about bills being due. But to get there, you're going to have honest conversations. You need to look back at your business model. You need to make sure, is this something that's scalable? When you build, and listen, guys, don't be prideful. This is not the time. I am here to help you guys make money. I'm not here for you to lose money. I'm here to help you make money. You got to go back to your business plan. You got to honestly assess, is this scalable? If it's not scalable, it will cap and it will not grow. So you got to ask yourself, in my business plan, do I have expansive ideas? If there are no expansive ideas, then guess what, guys? It's a hobby. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what paperwork you filled out. I love you so much. Don't get me wrong. But I want you to make your dream life. And to make a dream life, it has to be scalable income. It has to be unlimited. So for that means that we got to make sure that we have expansive ideas where you can monetize more. Okay? So you guys have your homework. Let's do the brain dump, the organization. Remember, organize that brain dump. Let's do the content plan. All you need are 12 topics for the whole year. Right now, we're in April, so it's the 4th month. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's get that plan together. And then I want to see the content plan. I want to see for you to assign monetization and then subscribe to my email list on the homepage. Y'all got that? Have a great, awesome day. I'll be sending out emails with more tips to my email list. That's why you got to join the tribe. You're going to get a free online course from me if you sign up. There's a free 2-day. It's like, I think 4 hours worth of content. It's a lot. And you're going to get that.
And what that includes is a full training that's going to help you understand how to create a service or product-based business. It is my gift to you. It's completely free, but I'm really big on showing you guys, like, I'm not someone that just, like, tells you guys like just fake knowledge or whatever. It's real. And I break it down so you can actually see that thing. You can really say to myself, oh my God, you can say to yourself, oh my God, this is possible. Like, I can do this. You can do it. I'm trying to tell you, you can do it. You can do it. But it's going to take work. You stick with me. I'm going to teach you how to do it. So, guys, I will see you later. Any questions, DM them to me. Comment to me on Facebook. I'll see you guys later. So, bye, Instagram. See y'all later. Bye, YouTube. Any questions, be sure to drop them down. Okay, guys? See you later.